Hey everybody, Josh here for Whiskey Wednesday for Argonaut Wine and Liquor. Today I am joined by Mr. David Coors from Coors Spirits Company. Before we jump into what we got going on here with you guys, I want to let you know that we have our annual Whiskey Wheel of Giving coming up Saturday, December 13th, starting at 8 a.m. It's gonna be our biggest whiskey wheel ever. We'll have over 1,000 bottles available for purchase that day. How it works, if you guys have never been, you'll see a wheel like this, you give it a spin, whatever it lands on corresponds to a different table. You know, unicorns will be, you know, your Pappy Van Winkles of the world, your Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, things like that. Diamond will be, you know, things like Stag Junior or, you know, some of the higher end like Michter's 10, things like that. Gold will be things that are, you know, definitely tougher to find, but you may find in spots, think like Booker's, Colonel Taylor small batch, things like that. And then silver will be things that are still tough to get, but maybe a little bit more everyday, your Eagle Rare 10, Weller Special Reserve, things like that. With that, $10 for each bottle purchase will be added on, going to the Food Bank of the Rockies. We're raising money for them. Last year we raised almost $9,000. This year we're hoping to get somewhere around $11,000. Like I said, it's our biggest wheel yet, so we're super excited about that. And then immediately after the wheel, starting at noon, we'll have a dog adoption event from noon to 3 with Pup Pup and Away. And today we have David here. He's going to be signing bottles and tasting Barman here from 4 to 6. So with that, let's jump in. Thanks for being here. In the
like
glass,
a good weekend.
It is a big weekend for whiskey at Argonaut. Yeah, that's for sure. And we will be doing barrel releases the week of Christmas. So that's coming up. We'll give you more details on those later. But for now, let's jump in what you guys got going on. Give us a little bit of the story about how, you know, Coors Spirits Company came to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great to see you and have everyone listening in. So this is a funny story. Started about 20 plus years ago. I was back from Christmas break and was talking to my dad. We were driving around the Golden Valley by the brewery. And I said, Dad, why don't we make a whiskey? Because I'd been studying up and learned the front end of making whiskey is just making beer to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. And he didn't even look over at me. His hands were on the steering wheel. He goes, we're good at one thing, and that's beer. And it was the end of the conversation. I wish I would have been a rebel. We'd have some 20-plus-year-old bourbon right now. But unfortunately, I went back to college, and it took me a little bit longer. But we've been in this game for about 5 years now and developed a whole lineup. Our first release was 5 Trail. We launched Barman about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So Barman's what we've got in the glass. Guys, we have a screaming price on this right now. It is $29.99, but we also have a $10 rebate going on at the moment. So you can get your total cost down to $19.99 for this bottle, which is a screaming deal. Yeah, tell us a little bit about Barman.
Yeah, and real quick, this rebate also works on 5 Trail as well. So we only have a photo of Barman on the front, but it does work on the whole 5 Trail lineup as well.
Great. Yeah, so everything we're trying here today, starting at 4, you'll be able to use the coupon 4, so you get $10 off everything on the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, Barman.
Awesome. Let's get into it. Yeah, so Barman is a blend of 2 about 6-year-old wheated and 4-grain bourbons. This is one of those where while we were doing some sampling on 5 Trail and some of these other expressions I'll get into, I said, what do we play around? Because 2 of the components in 5 Trail are wheated and 4-grain bourbons. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, what if we played around with just some of those? As I did samplings on 5 Trail, everyone was like, well, I like whiskey, but I really prefer bourbon because there's some single malt in 5 Trail. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, well, let's play around with some stuff, and fell in love with the combination of the wheated and 4-grain bourbons in this blend. Clocks in at 92 proof, and this won a double gold at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition a couple years ago. And this is just one of those. It's price point $29.99, $19.99 with the rebate. This thing is amazing on its own. Also stands up in a cocktail. Mm-hmm. And what I love about this flavor profile is you get some of your traditional bourbon flavors. I get a lot of caramel on the palate. And what I love is that wheated gives you the sweetness up front, the 4-grain, a little bit more of that spice, and that rye comes in from the 4-grain. And it's got enough age where it just stands up. And this is one of those where it doesn't disappoint. All the samplings and tastings I do, everyone's really surprised that that a brewer could pull together a nice blend like this.
Yeah, the nose is awesome, guys. It's like sweet. It's bright. You get with some wheated, I get like a little bit of like a dusty quality, and that's in here, which I really like. I mean, it's a nose that you're like, oh yeah, this is good bourbon, right? And yeah, I mean, again, the palate follows. It's bright, it's sweet, 92 proof. So, not like crazy hot or anything, super easy drinking. This is, as we say on Whiskey Wednesday, a porch pounder, something you could, end up going through half a bottle and not really notice it. But I mean, really great, especially at the price point. I mean, you don't see much under 30, these days that are high quality whiskeys that, are complex, that are not really, one or two notes, that really have a lot going on. So, to get a double gold winning spirit for $29.99 is a screaming deal.
Yeah, and that was our approach with this, is really try to drive the value proposition. Certainly there's a lot of competition out there, people doing great work, love sampling everything, but what I love about this is it doesn't disappoint. We're known on the beer side for good quality. We want to drive some of that quality across and convey that, but also drive a good value to the consumer. The other thing we have here, this bottle, and we've got a couple more in the store that'll probably be gone by the end of tonight, so come in early, but it's a Laney Wilson limited edition tour bottle.
Oh, cool.
So we partnered with her on the beer side, and we sent her some of the bottles of our whiskey, and she fell in love with it. And so we evolved that partnership into including our Barman 1873 bourbon.
Oh, that's great.
So this is a commemorative bottle. We only did 1,000 cases nationally, and when they're gone, they're gone. Her tour just ended. I was just in Vegas on Sunday night wrapping up that tour with her, and it's a great, nice little special treat.
And watching a great Broncos win.
It was a great, we went to the game. It was a good one.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And then up next, Five Trail, which is another project of your guys'. Tell us a little bit about how that came to be.
Yeah, so Five Trail is actually what we first launched, and this was, again, going back to the relationship with my dad, and that conversation was when we decided to get into the whiskey game, really wanted to tie it back to our brewery and the malting facility we have in Golden. We have one of North America's third largest malting facilities on site that supplies malt for a beer. We had been selling that malt to distilleries around Colorado for over a decade. And I wanted to come out with a single malt, was my original plan. Well, wasn't enough of those barrels at the time. So during COVID, I fell in love with blending whiskey. And I would pull these blends together and stumbled upon the blend of bourbon and single malt, American single malt. And I'd bring blends over to my parents' house on Sunday night dinners. And my dad and I would kind of evolve this. I took that blend over to Bardstown Bourbon Company, which is a longer story, but I knew someone that worked there, and sat down with one of our master brewers, myself, Steve Nally, Dan Calloway, and some other folks from Bardstown. And bless you. And we evolved that blend over a 2-day period into what's in the bottle today. This actually what we're trying now, so this is the flagship, what I call. What we're trying right now is our barrel proof. Clocks in at 116 proof. This one, basically best in show, or as Forbes magazine or Forbes article credited as the best whiskey of the world of the International Wine and Spirits competition over in London. So kind of a best in show. And what I love about Five Trail is you can pick out each of the components. It's got wheated, it has 4 grain, it's got some 12-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon, and it also has some 6-year-old Colorado single malt. And you can pick out each of the components as it rolls through the palate. So I'm curious to get your perspective on the
Yeah, no, it's interesting. As I was just sipping on this, it is a complex whiskey. You can tell that some work went into the blend, because there is a little bit of red fruit from the single malt. There's definitely some great mid-palate spice. Generally a high rye characteristic, but it's also kind of like the Barman, really sweet, really caramely up front. And it changes, as you let it, sit in the glass, but as you let it sit on your tongue, it changes and it evolves, as it's in there. So, I can totally see why Forbes was a big fan of this, because it's fantastic whiskey.
Yeah, and like the signature flavor, whenever I do these tastings, I try to give consumers one flavor profile they can really latch on to. For me, it's like this awesome roasted marshmallow note that comes across, where you got some of that burnt char, like a black roasted marshmallow flavor profile, which I just love. And at 116, it's not, again, it's got that proof behind it, but it doesn't punch through so much that you can't taste with the body.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it doesn't even necessarily drink, close to 120. Like it's not hot at all. There's no hug. As Justin, our liquor manager, loves to say it's a very smooth whiskey.
Yep.
That's his least favorite word, but I think it goes well here. And I mean, just an awesome whiskey. And what you guys have done with Five Trail is really cool. I mean, we're not going to try it today, but the barrel finish, that's in one of your guys' stouts, correct?
Yes, that went into a blend that went into Colorado Native Imperial Porter beer barrels. And so what I love about that is it's got the chocolate, the toffee, all these great flavor profiles that come through it. It's not a beer forward whiskey, it's really a whiskey blend that you get these subtle notes from the beer barrels that come through, which is really nice.
Definitely. Well, and then last but certainly not least, you know, at $29.99, like, I think that's a great, like, having people over cocktail whiskey. So we were thinking about a few cocktail ideas. So we've got one coming up here for you guys. So.
And while you do that, you know, you talk about smooth, and I like that word. I always, when I'm trying something, I always look for balance. Like what you'll find in this collection is there's nothing that's like overly powerful spice or sweet. I really want to get to the bottom of the glass and go, wow, that was really good. I want another one. And for me, it's all about the balance. And I found through blending whiskey, you change 1 or 2 percentage points of one of the components, it's amazing how much it changes.
And it's really interesting. You know, I know this from going through like the Maker's Mark Private Select program, but what's weird about blending is sometimes it doesn't change in the way you think it would.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there are certain staves that add certain characteristics, but if you add more of one, it ends up going a completely another direction. So you could think like, wow, we're close, let's just add a little bit more of this, and then all of a sudden it goes completely the other way, and you're like, wait, what just happened? But no, you guys did a fantastic job blending that one. So this, we're gonna start with about 2 ounces. We eyeball things here on Whiskey Wednesday. About 2 ounces of our Barman. And then we have some Fever Tree Blood Orange Ginger Beer. Pour that almost to the top there. And then a little squeeze of lime. I'm gonna have to actually open up this guy.
And some of that stone fruit that I get out of Barman really combines with these flavor profiles well. That blood orange ginger beer for me is an awesome mixer.
So, you know, I like to call this kind of like a Colorado mule.
Yeah.
Right? Cheers.
Cheers. Great to be with you.
And yeah, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, an awesome cocktail. This is something you could, you know, batch out if you were having a bunch of people over for a game or something like that. Looks like we, you know, may have a few extra games here coming up, hopefully. Let's go Broncos. But yeah, so it's an awesome week for whiskey here at Argonaut. We've got this tasting today going from 4 to 6 p.m. David will be here signing bottles. We've got the Whiskey Wheel this weekend. We'll have some barrel releases coming up leading up to Christmas, some things that have never been released in Colorado before, to my knowledge, so some pretty new stuff. Really excited for it, so come on down and give it a shot. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. And nice pour on that eyeball in it.